In today's episode, we're sitting down with the awe-inspiring Miranda Makaroff. The actress and multidisciplinary artist is an unapologetic creative force. We'll delve into her vibrant world, explore how she channels raw emotions into her artwork, and unlock the secrets of finding balance in the chaotic waves of creativity. Time to dive in.
Hi, Miranda. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm so good. Thank you so much.
We made it. People don't know, but we've been trying to get connected for the last 35 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I thought like we could not do it, but at the end we made it. So I'm happy. Yeah, because like every time that you have to learn a new application, a new technology, no, at the beginning it's like there's a resistance. No, you don't say that. It's like I don't know what's going on, but when you do it, when you make it happen, okay, perfect.
But here we are. We're ready
Yeah,
to
here
go.
we are. Here we are. It's the same with
Good.
TikTok or with new applications. At the beginning, it's like, ugh, you don't know how it works, but then when you start learning, it's like you feel this relief.
Yeah. Do you feel like sometimes you get frustrated because you see all those new social medias, like TikTok being one most recently, that you're like, oh, now I have to learn how to deal with TikTok and how to engage in TikTok. Is that something that kind of is in your mind? Do you kind of think about that or not really?
Yes, so much. Because, for example, with Instagram, that I already know almost like every tool, every aspect of the application. But now you have to adapt to everything quicker and faster. And now you have to be like super intelligent and super open-minded. And it's like every time, like almost like every year, there's new things that you have to adapt to. And sometimes I feel lazy because sometimes at the beginning it's difficult. You are getting used to one thing and you feel amazing because you know how it works. And then, okay, another one and another one. It's like, oh my God, when is this gonna end? Never. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, but you have been able to take advantage of that. I mean, you have an incredible following on social media, and people really kind of get to know your work and see you there. It seems like you're having fun doing some of those posts as well. How much has that influenced your work and how you approach your, the marketing aspect, but also, promoting what you do?
Wow, I don't know. For me, it's amazing because I mean, I really have fun in like finding the way to show my art and sometimes not my art, but I feel that my art, I use it in every way, not only when I paint or not only when I do like specific things, like because also I studied acting and for me it's super fun to act, even it's not art related, and and I don't know, I think for me social media is amazing and because I really like showing what I do and I think it's super helpful. I mean, before, you know, but yeah, I think like, I don't know, like Andy Warhol, he did like videos and, but now you do everything and you just show it there. And so people that doesn't have to go somewhere to see it, they watch it from their homes or wherever they are.
Well, it's a lot of fun to go through your posts and see all the colorful, vibrant, and the positivity that's going on over there. That seems to be the theme of a lot of the things that you do in your work. And going through some of the reading and seeing what you're doing, like a big theme is about celebrating and empowering women. And a father of two little girls. For me, that's an important theme for sure. But I'm curious to know and kind of go back a little bit in the past. How was your relationship with the women in your life, in your family, like growing up, like the role models?
Wow, for me, my muse, my eternal muse is my mom. She always showed me a way to understand life, and like be free. This was the main quote, in our lives because she's an artist too. She's a fashion designer. Also, she paints, and the way she like for her, life is like a movie, It's like every day you can be a different character, and it's, I mean, you don't take things super seriously. You always laugh. And she showed me if life was like an Alice in Wonderland movie, it's a bit like surreal, and you laugh and have fun, enjoy the little moments. And also, when I was a kid, she was asking me like, Miranda, can you help me designing these shoes or things? So I started like drawing, and also our house was full of books of everything, like designers, artists, parts of the world, cultures. So I was very like getting, I was absorbing all this information, and also like mixing colors. She's very good on mixing colors, and she's very elegant. And I don't know, for me, also my grandmother was a painter, but because it was another decade, she was not able, to put her world, because she had to take care of the kids, cook,
Yeah.
all these things. So my mom was like the first one in the family that really could put her own creativity into the world. So she, and also my father, but we are talking about female now. But
Hmm.
my father is a musician, and also like an incredible, like rebel musician. So they taught me to be rebel, free, and do whatever I wanted. Don't be scared of try new things and not follow the path that you are supposed to follow.
That's an interesting thing, though. Yes, not following the path, but when you grow up in the house with so much creativity and artists everywhere, kind of you feel like your path is almost following that train, right? To be able to explore yourself a little bit further. At what point? I mean, how young were you when you realized I'm an artist? There's nothing else I want to do. I want to be an actor. I want to be a sculptor, a painter. This is what I want to do.
So when I was a kid, I remember I thought I want to be, in when I grow up, these two things, or a painter or a present wrapper. I don't know how, like, these people that just wrap things during Christmas as a present. I really like wrapping. I don't know why. Or a painter. And I have pictures from when I was a kid, like kind of like disguised into a, like the typical painter with a beret, and like, like and then I started acting because people were like, "Oh, you are so dramatic. You should study this because you." And I was like, "Okay, let's try." And then I know that I thought, I don't know if I want to be an actress anymore, because I was too much myself. I had too much identity, So when I went to the castings, people used to say, no, we need somebody that is more neutral, and you are too much yourself. So I don't know. And I thought, oh, I know, I'm not good for that. And then I just wanted to be a cool girl,
Hmm.
Okay, let's be just cool. Let's be just cool, and we travel and we get things for free. And then I was an influencer for so long. But there's something about that is a bit empty inside, even if you put all your creativity and everything. But I was feeling a bit like, I don't know, when you do things and there's something inside you that says, no, no. And I thought, actually, what makes me more happy and fulfilled is when I paint, when I paint or I do something with my hands, or I put my focus on doing like creativity that it's more about like sculptures or painting related or designing a print, because I don't know. Yeah, I think I feel more myself. So then I was like, no, wait, I need to focus on art. And now that I'm focusing on art more, like, okay, 70%, then I can do 30% of a bit of the influential world that also makes me
Mhm.
happy. But you know, like you find this balance in between these two things. For me, is what I like to do the most, you know, like finding balance.
Yes. Do you feel like sometimes we went a little bit too far on the influencing kind of perspective that everybody wants to have their lifestyle and wants to showcase their what they're doing, kind of portray this perfect image of themselves. And sometimes they forget about, life is it's a little bit more than that. It's the ugliness of life sometimes what makes life special and unique that we don't see that on social media. Do you feel like our generation, I mean, no, we're probably the same age. We kind of came a little bit later, but now the younger generation is really immersed growing up in the TikTok world. Do you sometimes wonder how far can we go until we realize that this is, there's better ways to do things or live life?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot about it because I don't really understand. I mean, this will happen until there's not gonna be like a lot of people admiring this, because if there's a lot of people putting likes and following this kind of like emptiness, no, like people will keep showing that because there is an
Hmm.
interest of the world. But I hope the world will wake up a little bit more, and you can still do that kind of influencing, but maybe in a different way, you know, like I think you really have to be authentic whatever you do. If you just want to sell perfumes or whatever, you can do it, but you know, let's bring something different and perfect. And I don't know, I don't really connect with because now I feel we all are clones of each other, you know, like
Mm.
it's like a lot of people look very similar and they do very similar things. So I really admire when there's one thing that does this but in another way, you know, and really being transparent in who you are, and being authentic. I really want to see authentic people, not like repeating things. So I don't know. I just want to talk about myself. I really try to do that, but sometimes even these people that doesn't like it that much, because I see a lot of incredible people on internet and they have no followers and they have like no, you know. I don't understand why not.
Mm.
I think we have to change our minds, and then something will change outside.
Now, how do you try to keep yourself authentic? As you mentioned, there's so much exposure and you get to see artists from all over the world these days. You're exposed to so much that you can really do anything. How do you, as an artist, keep in touch with your true self and make sure that what you're doing is unique to your voice, to your style, and to what you have to say, to your feeling?
For me, it's like you have to observe how you are when you are not in front of a camera. And exactly, you just have to do it when you are in front of the camera, or like how you are, even with imperfections, like contradictions, because you are not your perfect self all the time. You know, like you do fucked up things, you say things that are not okay, but also for me sometimes it's difficult because I would say things that are happening in my mind, but then I'm a bit scared of the cancellation. uh, you know,
Mm.
like it's kind of difficult to be authentic because you want to be yourself, but then every time, because I like to talk on camera, you know, I like to explain everything that is happening to me, that I learned, that, you know. But then I think like, wait, I cannot say this because these people might feel like that I'm attacking them, or so it's not that easy. I mean, you try, but there's
Yeah.
always like a filter you have to put, so you are not saying something wrong and people would, you know, attack you.
Yeah, there's no more margin for errors anymore. Even if you're someone that perhaps you're not fully understand the conversation or the situation, but you're exploring, you're having ideas, you're thinking out loud. You might say some things that perhaps not right, but
Yeah,
instead of having a conversation, someone say, "Hey, by the way, what you said, there's better ways to approach." No, it's immediately like a big attack. It's like canceling that sort of a mindset. And for an artist, that can be enabling, right? Because as you mentioned, as much as you try to pursue something and create a dialogue, create a vision, if you have to start adding all those elements to your creation, you start taking pieces away.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And this is sad, but what are you gonna do? Like, you will have to change so many minds in this world. So it's kind of difficult now to be authentic. So I don't know. I try to be as best as I can and more
Hmm.
natural as I can be, but also when I analyze myself, I see that I am not exactly how I am, or the jokes I make with my friends, like I cannot put them on internet, like people would not understand it. But I always think that, I mean, if there is a person that is saying something and you work on not feeling attacked, or I mean, it's better. I mean, if not, I would feel attacked of everything that people do. But I think it's better if I work on not feeling that, you know.
Hmm.
So everything that happens in the world will not, will pass. Like, okay, you're I don't know, an insult. But I would say that I don't feel that. So whatever. Instead of like, oh, this person said to me, you have to change. No, we have to change. We have to
Hmm.
change in order, that let people be whatever they want to be, and just not feel like attacked every time. I think, I don't know, it's not,
Yeah.
it's more, no sé. It's a very profound conversation, but that I see movies now that were so fun some years ago, and I think, wow, this
Yeah.
movie cannot be done anymore because people would
Yeah.
start like, you know
Yeah. For
feeling.
sure. Yeah, it's a generational thing. It's definitely. I wonder how it's going to be for the next one, right? If they're going to be able to learn how to have a dialogue and have a conversation about any subject without escalating, or will get even worse. I don't know. We can
I
talk
don't
about this
know.
all day. But
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
talk about,
yeah.
yeah, we won't, you and I will not solve that problem today, but we can talk about
Yeah.
things that we have control. And I want to hear about you. What are you working on these days? Tell us a little bit about what are you up to?
Okay, so now next week I'm gonna show two of my last artworks in there's a museum in Barcelona and Amsterdam called Moco Museum,
Hmm.
and they're doing like a pop up doing Primavera Sound. Uh, and I'm gonna show two of my last artwork, and I'm so happy because it's my first time in a museum. I'm like, I'm excited. I'm like, what the fuck? So this is gonna happen next week, and also I'm designing the. Wait, I don't know how you say this in English. Okay, there's a kind of like a bus
Uh-huh.
for the El. Es que I know how to say it in English. El Orgullo Gay, the day of for the Gay Pride, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So, okay, I'm designing the bus that it's, like going into the city of the Thyssen Museum. It's a museum in Spain that is super
Yeah.
like famous and traditional, and well, not traditional in terms of like old one.
Yes. Of course. Yeah. It's a very established
Exactly,
cultural
exactly,
organization. Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Established but super modern. And I'm working on also like my tapes and carpets because I discovered this medium and I love it so much. And I
Mm.
also like so much when art and interior design have a connection, and because sometimes art just can be art for museums and for the walls and for galleries, but I really like to to connect these two worlds. So I'm doing carpets, and people are like, ah, but yeah, you can put them on the floor also, like I don't need only to put them on the wall. So I'm working on that right now. Yes.
Do you see yourself exploring more of the product development side of interior design, like
Yes.
furnishing, lighting, that sort of things?
I would love to, and I'm designing some furniture objects right now that I love so much because I really like to live surrounded by art. So I really like it. For me, art is like something that makes me so happy to see when I wake up and I'm in my house and I go to houses, because we don't live in galleries, we live in houses. So so I really love to have all these objects surrounding me. And it makes me super happy. It changed my mind, it changed my mood. It affects me so much. And I love color. I'm obsessed with color. So I want to have all these beautiful pieces like surrounding me. It's like my pills. I don't take pills. I have objects that make me so happy and transform me.
Well, there's entire studies showing about how color can interfere with your mood. So I'm sure, like, whenever how you feel like, you just need some color in your life, and you'll be able to kind of, overcome some of those obstacles.
Absolutely. Sometimes I go to hotels and they are so neutral and everything is so white and gray and beige. It's like, it's horrible. I don't like it. I don't understand. Maybe you like it. Maybe you are in a beige. No?
Oh yeah, in
Now?
the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Maybe
we
you like
have a
beige.
lot of art. This is the fireplace, but we have a lot of art, colorful art throughout the house. It's a
Okay.
mix. We have a big mix of a little bit here in the house as well. So it's an interesting, but no, exactly as you mentioned, right? It's a matter of taste. So everybody has their own thing, but
Yeah.
you have that need in that. As you mentioned, I don't take pills, but colors are my drugs, right? Like you need those colors all over you.
Yeah, but I understand it depends of the person. No, sometimes you really need like a very relaxed and chill and smooth space surrounding you because you have a lot of like I don't know, like Kim Kardashian's house. Like it's
Mm.
super one color, and but
Hmm.
for me, I really need like a lot of pills that are colorful. Makes me really, really, really happy.
Now you were talking about some of the collaborations and the things that you're working on right now. How do you decide which project you're going to prioritize? Because I'm sure you have a lot of options. You have a lot of opportunities to do different things. As you mentioned, you're working with tappies now, but you also can do so many different options right now. What are the main factor to help you decide and prioritizing? All right, the next few months or a year or whatever, I will focus on this. Do you usually have a game plan or not really?
I mean, the past like 3 years, I used to take collaborations that were sometimes just about to show a product, and they were not asking me for any creative, that direction. And that's when I felt so empty. Like people just want me, I don't know why, but I can offer much more. So now I'm just taking projects when people ask me for a creativity. So when I have to paint or when I have to design or when I have to, so when people really like uh, admire my creative part, not because I just have followers or have a platform with so if there's some creativity related, I take it and I love it, and for sure I want to
Mhm.
grow up. And if there's museums involved or like big things, I want to do big things. Sometimes I think I would like to take like a little town that is kind of like forgotten and put like a lot of creativity and surreal and abstract world there, and this is a dream. But yeah, like growing, like step by step, doing better things and bigger things.
Like you come across as being someone super confident, someone really understanding who you are. What are the things that you afraid of? I mean, what are the things you have a level of insecurity or something that you're not sure about yourself or your work that comes to you sometimes? Tell me a little bit about that.
Wow, a lot of insecurities. Um, okay, yeah, okay. So actually, what I discovered of myself is that I always feel a little bit invisible. That's why I don't like to dress in black. That's why I always dress in colors. That's why my art is like full of things instead of like very minimal, because I really need people to see me, like sometimes I just want to scream like, I exist, look at me, I'm not transparent, because my issue is like
Mm.
people not seeing me, like if you are not important in this world. So everything I do is just for making people paying attention on me, which sometimes could be a bit sad. And I have much more issues, but this is the one that comes in my mind. No, and also like I always compare myself to other people. It's horrible. Like instead of like focusing on what I do and being proud, like wow, look what you did, and this is so different from 10 years ago. Like instead of being proud and say, okay, Miranda, you are doing very good, like this is amazing, sometimes I put my attention on like, oh, but look, the other people are doing this, and this is looks so like cool and important and perfect, and it's very big, like, and you are doing, because you know what happened to me once. I did an installation in a place in Ibiza,
Hmm.
and I was super happy, but the materials we choose were not very like, what's the word, like, okay, imagine something, it breaks something, it's like the material is not like, what's the word, rich.
Oh, it's not
Rich.
luxurious. It's not like
Yeah, it's not
okay.
luxurious. And then
Hmm.
like everything started breaking, and I felt like, wow, everything I do, it breaks. It's not like rich. And I had this issue. So now everything I do, I really want to find like the materials that are like perfect, that it would never break.
Hmm.
So yeah, this was one of another issues, but much more. I have so many issues, but thanks God I go to a therapist, and like we say like mantras about the materials, like all the materials I'm using, they love me and they are perfect and they are not breaking.
But I think, and I appreciate you for sharing this with us, because I think that's what people need to hear. It doesn't matter what level you are in your life, in your career. At one point, we have those insecurities. We still sometimes compare ourselves to others. There's that small level of competition internally,
Oof,
and
yes.
that it's there. And I think instead of suppress it, maybe talking about it, it's a good way to understand where it's coming from. And but now you are around a lot of different artists as well. I'm sure you have an entire network of friends, collaborators that are artists. Do you feel it's the same problem with all of them, or just few of them? We think is something that most of our artists right now, if you talk to them and they're really really open. Let's say we're like having coffee, no cameras, no nothing on, and we're having this honest conversation. Everybody will open up and say yes. We all on the same boat when it comes to our insecurities and our our validation for what we do.
I mean, sometimes I know artists that I don't know if they are not very open to me, but sometimes it seems like they don't compare themselves that much. And
Mm.
I'm like, wow, it's amazing, like, or people had already worked on not, because when these thoughts come to your mind, or you hear them and get stuck on like, "Oh, okay," or you learn, it's like when you do meditation, you learn how to move these thoughts, and focus again. But some of my friends, they worked on that, so now they don't compare themselves so much, or they do and they don't tell me, which can also be an option, because I really
Yeah.
try to be very vulnerable, and say everything that's happening to me. And I do compare myself so much, but I think obviously everybody does, but there are levels, I think. But
Yes.
yeah,
How do you take feedback? Are you someone who are open to constructive criticism?
I think so. But also, my ego, it feels that it's very big. I know
Mhm.
other people, they don't seem to have that big ego that I have. So, but my therapist says that I'm doing very good because I really want to learn and I really want to be a better person, and not just a better person, but not to suffer that much, because you can transform everything. So I think that at the beginning, maybe I feel a bit of a fight inside, when
Mhm.
people tell me things that I'm not doing well. But then there is another voice that says, no, 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 you better take it, you better embrace it, and then try to transform it. But it's not that easy, because you have to be like vulnerable, vulnerable. It's a very difficult word to pronounce.
And very difficult to be. It's a word to pronounce and a very difficult feeling to be. To be vulnerable is challenging as well. People don't want to be vulnerable these days.
Yes,
It's.
and this is connected to everything that we were saying before about, like, the Instagram world and the social media. Like, nobody wants to show vulnerability, or we show it
Mhm.
sometimes. One, like when Bella Hadid uploaded pictures crying, she did it once and then she deleted it. Like, why do you delete it? Don't
Mm.
leave it there. Or actually, no, do it more, because if we do it more, people will do it more, and everybody will do it more, and we will be ourselves. That's what we need,
Yeah.
I think.
Miranda, I know we're a little short on time today, but I'm so thrilled we have the time to talk. But before I let you go, there's three things I need from you. I need a recommendation. We usually ask for a recommendation of a book, a movie, or a TV show so we can watch. And who do you think should be our next guest on Minded Podcast?
Okay, a book. I always read books about spirituality. I never read like novels, or these kind of books.
Hmm.
So one of my favorite books is called Many Lives, Many Masters, of
Okay.
Brian Weiss, and it talks about past lives and how did he discovered all this world, because I love to see things that are beyond what our eyes can see, this is my main fascination, like discover, like, beyond the walls, what's happening, in the
Hmm.
spiritual world. Okay, this is the book that I would recommend. The other was a the other, what was the second thing that?
Oh, the second movie or a TV show, something to watch.
Okay, something to watch. Okay, so I always watch things on Gaia. It's like a
Okay.
Netflix of holistic matters, So
Hmm.
I'm subscribed on that thing, and I always try to find. They talk about everything, like aliens, like, I don't know, like spirits, mediums, like, I don't know, like, psychedelic drugs and how they open your mind, or I don't know, infinite subjects about this. But it's
Okay.
not for everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to
Which,
like it.
like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And okay, next artist. Okay, I know for sure. Philip Kustik.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of my best friends, and he's incredible. Like he does performance and creates hyper realistic objects, and I don't know, like, his interior wall is amazing, and I love him, and he's the best, and he's an incredible person, and you will freak out with his Instagram account. It's like
Yeah.
blows your mind.
Well, we'll make sure to reach out inside that conversation. And Miranda, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and most of all, for being vulnerable with us today. And let us talk a little bit more about your background, your feelings, yourself. I think people who are listening today will walk away with so much information about you, but also just a peace of mind knowing that they're not alone on their their journey, and everybody's kind of going through the same you know. Same process and insecurities and difficulties, but still can make the world a happy, colorful place.
Oh, thank you so much. I wish everything you said is a reality. Also,
Thanks again.
my English is not incredible, so there are some things that I want to say, but I don't find the exact word. So I hope my message went through.
You went through, and next time maybe if we can manage, we make it in Spanish because I speak Spanish too. So
Vale. You are Brazilian or Portuguese?
I'm Brazilian, but
Okay,
I viví en Buenos Aires, entonces hablo español también.
I thought my father is from Buenos Aires, so half of my family is from there.
There you go. Next time we're gonna do this in Spanish then.
Okay, cool. I hope so. Thank you so
All right. Thanks
much,
again.
and see you soon. Bye.